Today is Tuesday, April 12th, approximately 4:01 in the afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Board of Commissioners. If you take roll, please.
Commissioner Durancheck.
Here.
Big Yip.
Here.
Coonan.
Here.
Herrick.
Here.
Tilly.
Here.
Lutz.
Here.
Chairman Krieger.
Yes,
All members accounted for.
very good. We'll stand for the invocation and the pledge, and I'd like to have a moment of silence for Mr. Fred Dorr, a former county commissioner.
Almighty God, judge of all people, you have placed in our hands, Lord, the wealth we call our own. Give us wisdom by your Holy Spirit, so that our prosperity may not be a curse in our lives, but an instrument for blessing. We ask that you will guide and give leadership to every member of this Board of Commissioners, and we ask that you will give them the knowledge and understanding so that decisions made today and always will benefit every citizen in this community. Amen.
Very good. Next, you've all had an opportunity to look at the minutes. What's your pleasure?
Motion to approve. Support.
Any discussions? With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We're good. Next on the agenda is citizens' input. This would be the time for individuals to address the board. Name and address, please, and good afternoon.
Good afternoon. William McPherson, 3669 Loria Road. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to address you. I appreciate it. I'm the one that's got problems over on Loria Road with the drainage, and there is a law on ponding upon your neighbor. And over time, if maintenance to a ditch or drain is not done, water will back up. The drain commissioner was appointed to the Wetland Advisory Council for what reason? There sure seems to be a conflict of interest between the two jobs. The plan to create wetlands is a land grab by any definition. Do you not care about our health? Do you not care about our property rights? All those responsible for the drainage of property collect a paycheck. This tells me they do have the money to fix a wrong. What my situation is 30 years ago, they put, and I've lived there, I'm 56, I've lived there my whole life. They put a waterworks in down the road from me. They used our road to transfer between the two. And when they were done, they took our drain, which is called the Bergeston Drain, and turned it into a shallow ditch, which is actually higher than what our property is that we're trying to drain to. So obviously that don't work. Later on, they put a rail trail in. They pulled 7 culverts out. I know this because I seen them. When I was a child, the ditch was over 4 feet deep. There was 5 bags of cement on top of our culverts. Right now, excuse me, I'm not used to public speaking. Right now, when I had Mr. Rivet come out and dig our ditch, our drain out, he skimmed it, and I mentioned about the culvert coming through my driveway. Now, mind you, there's 5 bags of cement. Now, I'm not talking about size of bags. I'm talking about the bags, 5 of them. My culvert's coming through, so his fix was to pull my culvert out and put a smaller one in. Problem isn't solved. It's still, the ditch is too shallow. You can't drain nothing there. They allowed the drain alongside the railroad tracks, which is now a rail trail, to be filled in. No drainage back there. They blocked off the drain north of the waterworks. Well, I shouldn't say a drain. The ditch north of the waterworks, so there's no drainage. So what they've done is they've created wetlands behind my house. And this is unacceptable. I have no means of draining this because, according to Joe, he's done all he's going to do for the McPhersons. Commissioner Ernie got a letter from him, which was also sent to me. He's not doing me a favor. I pay through my taxes for him to do a job he's not doing. And he doesn't see a problem, but I had Mr. Lutz come out, or Commissioner Lutz come out, and Commissioner Krieger came out and looked at it, and they happen to see a problem with it. But our drain commissioner can't? I don't know which way to turn. That's why I'm coming to you guys, to see if there's something you guys can do. Short of that, I'm at a loss. I mean, I was told years ago that from 5 different agencies, if I wanted to drain, I had to be the one to drain it. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I've gotta put in a pump, they better hope that their pump on the other end is working. Because I will give them all the water they want, but I don't think that's what I should have to do. I'm a reasonable person. Clean these things out, get them back down the way they were. I'll drain that back there. But I can't do it the way it is now. It's too high.
Mr. McPherson, let me just address Mike Lutz for a second, because we were both out there at a time when there was plenty of water, and we walked that ditch line and saw different things that I thought was going to be taken care of. Mike, I'm going to come back to you and see if there was any further dialogue with our drain commissioner on the issue for that Ferguson drain.
Yes, I sent him an email, apprising him of what we saw that day, about the vegetation that has grown up in the ditch farther down, closer to State Park Drive. That a portion of the box drain was also blocked so that the water was rising in the ditch. If that would have been taken care of, most of the water that came down would have been able to flow out of there. There was water flowing on the west side of the rail trail into the ditch, about 12 inches wide, 6 inches deep. I mean, it's flowing out of there that fast. However, you know, up where Mr. McPherson's house is, that ditch is really shallow.
Right.
And we had talked, I had talked briefly to him, and then Mr. Lutz down the road, no relation, also had a problem. We stopped at his house.
Yep. Yeah.
And
His crawl space was
his
flooded.
crawl space was being flooded, and if he was to pump out to the ditch, he only had about 3 inches
Oh, drop.
of area that he could pour water into, because the ditch was backed up that far at his house, and the water wasn't flowing out. So I haven't been by there in the last week to see if the road commissioner has done anything about taking the vegetation out.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the road commission, it would be the drain commission
Wow.
on the Ferguson drain, but,
Right.
and obviously with Mr. McPherson being here, nothing's, I'm assuming, has been done.
No.
We really don't have a lot of control over that particular office because it is an elected position. We can't come in and say, you know, you need to do this or you need to do that. So what you're doing in exercising your ability to say, hey, I'm not being taken care of, what can we do about it? We'll start that dialogue. And I'll pretty much guarantee you that probably before the night's over, there will be a call so we can set up a meeting. And I think it should be a meeting where it isn't just commissioners that are involved, but also the homeowners like yourself, that we can sit at a table and say, okay, there's an issue. Or maybe we should come out to the house again and stand on the road and look at that ditch and say, you gotta be kidding me, this isn't right. So I can tell you that between Mr. Lutz and myself, we will open that dialogue again and for sure keep you in the loop.
Well, I got some pictures that was taken last year, and that's part of where my property is located on the back one. But these are pictures where the water's in the ditch up here, no water in the next ditch, water in the next one. I mean, he's failed. He's failed at his job, and he won't even consider doing the right thing. He told me it's lack of money. If he's cashing his check every week, then there shouldn't be a lack of money. Otherwise, he needs to retire, put somebody in there that can do the job. I mean, I can't deal with him anymore because he's made it very clear his stance with me. But it's not just me. It's just about my neighbors are old. It's an old neighborhood. They're not willing to come and stand up. I mean, I was reluctant to because, I mean, I'm at wit's end. But I figured, hey, I'm gonna give this a try. So I'm here.
Thank you. Mike?
I just had one comment too. When you say that we can't get involved, well, I see it as a health issue also out there.
Yes, sir.
And, I mean, you've got the standing water that's out there, so you've got the mosquito thing, and look what, you know, they say, well, Zika mosquitoes aren't here yet. Well, now, just the last couple of days, there's possible brain interactions with these mosquitoes. They don't have to just be in pregnant women and all that. So, I mean, we got a health issue going on here that we need to get involved as this commission and we got to take care of these folks, because it's not just one or two people. There's a lot of people up and down that road. So if you need some assistance in jarring somebody, I'll be right there with you too, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I've had 4
Commissioner
dogs
Conan?
die of heartworm.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, mosquitoes out there after dark, you cannot be outside. Spray or
Commissioner-
no spray.
Commissioner Coonan?
Mr. McPherson, has this happened over several different instances? Like, maybe you were talking about, I heard you mention about probably the old water plant now, correct? When they were building.
Well, it's the
old-
middle one.
The new
Well,
one.
the old one is the one that's not, well, the new one is the one we got now, the old one is
Right next door.
on Laureate, yeah. So that, when they were doing that construction, something happened which affected your drain.
Right, my dad went out to the guys that were putting the ditch in, and they said it was temporary.
Yeah.
They
And then,
didn't put it back the way it was.
they didn't, so that goes back a ways, and then there was, what was the other instance just recently? Oh, the rail trail.
Right.
That was engineered and designed, and that impacted the drainage as well, correct?
Oh, yeah, ask the state park. They're flooded out every year. And when that ditch was in there, they never had that water on the other side of the tracks. I can't speak for them because that's their issue. Mine is the ditch on the other side.
But that's been impact, your situation has occurred over the last 20, 25 years.
And just so you know, by June, before the waterworks was put in, by June, there was no water back there. Now there's water back there year-round. We have mosquito breeding constantly, and they don't want to spray it because it's so close to the state park. State park's in my backyard. What do you do?
Okay. Anyone else? Mr. McPherson, we will see what we can do.
Thank you very much.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
your time, gentlemen.
Yes. Anyone else like to address the board? Good afternoon.
Keith Marks from 1383 North Jones Road, here representing Bay Veterans Foundation, more importantly, coordinator of the Battery Park project. I thought it'd be a good time to bring the board up to date on that project.
Sure.
Especially since we've had some pretty good media coverage in the last few days. As it was indicated in the media, we're on our $109,000 project. We're at over $70,000 in cash and pledges. We're wrapping up some final private solicitations. We'll be opening up to the public for any support that it wishes to provide monetarily. That includes everybody in this room. But most importantly, we're on track to have a rededication of the park the week of June 20th, June 21st specifically. Colonel Roger Donlin, who has visited our community twice last year, first Medal of Honor recipient from the Vietnam War, will be our keynote speaker. And then it's the 21st, and we're still looking at a time like maybe 5 o'clock. We gotta see what else is going on in the community. And followed by hosting him at a dinner at the American Legion, and anybody else who would like to attend at a nominal price. So if you have any questions with regard to the park itself or the project, I'm willing to answer questions.
I do have a question for you. And I know that we're replicating some of the cannons. Is it more than one or two, or?
Well, right now, the Dahlgren cannon, the one that was on the USS Hartford, has been cast. The other one, I'm in communication with Baycast, Max Holman,
Yep.
to see where we are with the mortar cannon. But there will be definitely a Dahlgren and hopefully both mortar and Dahlgren cannon. The kiosk is well under development. It's being constructed out at the Delta College Building Trades class. We'll be looking for a contractor, a mortar contractor, to put in the footing, the foundation, so that that can be placed. It will be LED lit, working with the city to get it to tie into the lights that are along Center Avenue. And Big Igs are working on the landscaping along the sidewalks that will be put in for flowers and perennials and some other more tactile type of landscaping.
And as far as the memorial that we have out in front here, is that in the plan to be moved for this?
No, Mr. Chairman, we floated some balloons with regard to that, and while the Bay Vets Council seems to be in support, it's just going to be too much of a project in addition. I think that would well come under another project in the future.
Okay.
I think it makes sense in the way that the northwest quadrant will be rejuvenated. The walk will be in the place. It will not interfere with the potential movement of that monument.
Okay.
It makes sense because when we do the celebrations for Memorial Day,
We're in the
Veterans Day,
street.
We're in the street, the traffic noise and so on, and I think that that would be a much better location, but we need to look at that as a separate project.
Very good. Commissioner Tilley, you had a question.
We did hear from the city manager last week, at least, that the paving is gonna come all the way up to Madison here. They're gonna blacktop all the way up to Madison. The cost savings they got from the blacktop, they have enough, they're gonna come all the way up to, so it'll look nice all the way to Madison versus stopping at the one way
Yes.
through here.
Nice.
They plan to take it all the way to the intersection. So,
Well, I have to thank the commission, but especially the employees with the county. It's been delightful to work with them, as well as the city. You know, to have three jurisdictions, the library, the county, and the city, work together. And there's certainly jurisdictional areas from a legal perspective, but everybody's trying to get this project moving forward and completed, and I can't say enough about all the folks that have interfaced on this, so
Good.
thank you.
And Mark, one quick question. The speaker that you're having come in on the 21st?
Yes.
If I can get his name again?
Colonel Roger Donlon, D-O-N-L-O-N. He was the first recipient of the Medal of Honor in Vietnam, 1964. He's 81 or 82 years old, suffers Parkinson's. A very clear-minded speaker. He has a book out. He is in this area for the third time because through our Bay Veterans Foundation, we're partnering with the Medal of Honor Foundation, which teaches character development to teachers, youth leaders, Boy Scout, Girl Scout leaders, and so on. He's coming back to host that on the 21st, that same day we want to rededicate the park. It's been met with extreme success, so that's the reason that he's coming back. It helps kids understand integrity, loyalty, courage, bravery, and so on and so forth, things that we kind of took for granted when we grew up, but so that's why he's coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Anyone else wish to address the board? Afternoon, Mr. Murphy.
Good afternoon. My name is Marty Murphy. I live at 45 River Trail Drive. And I'm coming here to talk about the coming up election for county executive. I just want everyone to know that I want someone that will put the needs of the community before their own personal wants. And let's take Tom Hickner, for example. Will Tom Hickner put the needs of the community before his personal wants? If we look at his record and his past, he has. So therefore, I'm assuming that in the future, Tom's going to put the needs of the community before his personal wants. Mark McFarland. Will Mark McFarland put his the needs of the community before his own personal wants? Well, his personal or past records indicates that he will put the needs of the community before his personal wants. And then there's Jim Barsa. Will Jim Barsa put the needs of the community before his personal wants? And I say no, because of his personal past. And I can tell you why. 2 weeks ago, I was talking to his wife, Vicki, and she informed me that she had cancer. That's an additional to her brain tumor. And what kind of man would come out of retirement and put his wife through an election when she needs to be resting? So therefore, if Jim Barcia would put his own personal wants before his wife's needs, Jim would put his own personal wants before the community needs. And I see that Jim has two options here. Jim can say he made a mistake and that he wants us to come out of the race and help his wife get better. Or Jim can say that his personal needs or personal wants are more important than needs of the community, and that him wanting to sit in the big chair behind the big desk, the big building, is more important than the community. And I think that the community will be able to see Jim's true character, and I hope he does the right thing, and you have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board? No one? All right, let's move on. Petitions and communications. If I could, we have Judge Clyda in the area. Will you come up for me, please? And maybe if we could, Kim, if you would do me a favor, I have a resolution that I'd like to, he's disappeared. Commissioner Tiller, if you would do me the honors on the resolution. And
Making a motion?
Yes.
I'd like to move Resolution 2016-102, recognizing our new chief judge in Bay County.
I'll support that.
Any discussion?
Support?
All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Of course, there wouldn't be. So I'm going to stall for a moment, and here we go, coming through the doors. Look at this. Aww. Madam Clerk, if you would read the resolution for me. That's right. Hate when this happens.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. Resolution 2016-102 by the Bay County Board of Commissioners. Whereas it is an honor for the Bay County Board of Commissioners and the Bay County Executive to recognize Dawn A. Clyda on her appointment as Chief Judge of the Bay County Courts by Michigan Supreme Court Chief Justice Robert Young, an honor earned after much hard work and dedication. And whereas, born and raised in Bay County, Dawn A. Clyda graduated with honors from All Saints High School and Delta College before graduating summa cum laude from Saginaw Valley State University in 1990 with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. Dawn A. Clyda then earned her Juris Doctorate in 1994, graduating cum laude from Thomas M. Cooley Law School in Lansing. And whereas, after working as an associate with the firm of Skinner, Wildeboer, and Ogden, Dawn A. Clyda was a founding partner of the law firm of Wildeboer and Clyda in 1998. And whereas from 2003 to 2010, Dawn A. Clyda conscientiously served as a Bay County Board of Commissioners, representing the citizens of the 4th Commission District, and for 9 years served on the Bay County Township, Bangor Township School Board. Whereas Dawn A. Clyda has faithfully served the citizens of Bay County as judge of the Bay County District Court since 2010, having been appointed by Governor Jennifer Granholm, and has successfully been re-elected to the judgeship twice since. Judge Clyda serves as the presiding sobriety court judge. And whereas always willing to assist where needed, Judge Clyda has taken on probate duties after the retirement of Judge Karen Ty and the circuit court duties with the retirement of Judge Kenneth Schmidt. And whereas Judge Clyda is the founder and chairperson of the Len F. Clyda Jr. Memorial Foundation, which she established in honor of her husband Len, who passed away in 2003. Len, the Bangor Township Fire Chief at the time of his death, was in the early stages of planning the placement of automated external defibrillators, the AED, in Bangor schools. His foundation has dedicated to the purchase, placement, training, and maintenance of all AEDs in Bay County schools. And whereas, Judge Clyda's memberships include State Bar of Michigan, having served for over 10 years on the Representative Assembly, Bay County Bar Association, serving as a member of the Board of Directors as well as past president, and the Michigan District Judges Association, the American Judges Association, Michigan Association of Drug Court Professionals, and National Association of Drug Court Professionals. Judge Clyda serves as a judge for the SVSU Mott Court competitions and is the recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award from Saginaw Valley State University in 2014. And whereas, Judge Clyda is an avid supporter and frequent speaker for the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce Youth Leadership Class and Adult Leadership Class, as well as the Chamber's reading program for Bay County schools. And whereas, for as much as she has accomplished, and even with all of her judicial and civic duties, Judge Clyda, with her late husband Len, raised 3 successful daughters, and her spare time is devoted to her children, grandchildren, and granddogs. Resolved, that the Bay County Board of Commissioners and Bay County Executive offer their congratulations to Judge Dawn A. Clyda on her appointment as Chief Judge of the Bay County Courts and on her exemplary and outstanding career and her dedication to Bay County. Signed, Erden Krieger, Chair and Board.
As a county commissioner and now in your judgeship, and also a special friend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I can only say thank you. This was totally unexpected. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it, and I
Hold that thought and the emotion. There we go.
I just want to thank my lovely daughters and my honest.
You should be
You have to hold it close.
Yeah. Pretend you're on the bench.
Then I don't need a microphone. Thank you all very much. Totally unexpected. I'll remember this, Mr. Krieger, next time you summon me. And to my 3 daughters, you kept a pretty good secret. Bet you're proud of yourselves, aren't you? I am devoted to Bay County. Pretty much started in partnership with my husband, Len, and I'm happy to be where I am, to have met so many wonderful people along the way that I would not have met but for my journey. And many of you commissioners I served with, most of you that are sitting here, with the exception of Tom. I didn't actually serve with Tom, but I don't know what else to say. I'm without words. And that's probably saying a lot. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Well, with the 3 daughters?
Yes.
If we could. Should we?
You want your daughter to get in
Let's get a picture with the daughters.
And the chairman of the board.
I don't play.
Be nice, Ernie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good secret.
All right. Next under presentations, if I could get Alicia Wallace up front, podium, please. If you could do me a favor, if you know the people that are here from the schools, I'd like to have them come up first, and then we'll read the resolution.
Like Jessica Reeder and Andrea Wetters. I just met her today. And I believe their brand is,
Oh, yeah.
yes, they're all Saints. Yeah, and they're here to receive for all Saints.
All Saints. Let me get just to come, you can come this way a little bit, I'm sure.
Microphone?
Yep, right here. Thanks, Mike. It's not on. And Commissioner Tilley, Actually, if you do me a favor, I will ask Commissioner Begic to adopt the resolution, if we could. Yep. Oh, it's on with it.
Yeah, that's
So, I need someone to make a,
I'll make a motion.
very good.
2016-77, so moved.
Support.
Any discussions? With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Madam Clerk, if you would read the resolution, please.
Resolution 2016-77 by the Bay County Board of Commissioners, Ways and Means Committee, whereas in 2010, the Bay County Board of Commissioners approved participation in the Michigan Green School Initiative, which grants Michigan Green School designation to any public or private school in Michigan that meets a certain criteria. And whereas in 2012, the Board of Commissioners approved continued participation in this program, with administration of the program being provided through the Department of Environmental Affairs and Community Development. And whereas this year, Michigan Green School applicants have been received from All Saints Catholic Elementary School, the Auburn Area Catholic School, Bay Aranac ISD Career Center, and John Glenn High School, all meeting the requirements outlined to the Act to qualify as a Michigan Green School. And whereas all 4 schools, the All Saints Catholic Elementary, the Auburn Area Catholic School, Bay Aranac ISD Career Center, and the John Glenn High School have each submitted 20 or more points and met the requirements to be awarded the Evergreen Level Michigan Green School designation. Therefore, be it resolved that the Bay County Board of Commissioners and the Bay County Executive go on record recognizing the hard work and commitment to promote sound environmental stewardship and energy conservation shown by All Saints Catholic Elementary School, the Auburn Area Catholic School, the Bay Aranac ISD Career Center, and John Glenn High School in achieving their Evergreen Level of Michigan Green School designation. Signed, Kim Coonan, Chair and Board.
Very good. Commissioner Tilley, do you have, if you would like to grab the mic?
We should take care of it in a minute here. When we started this program, I brought this forward in 2010. It had been in the community for about 10 years, and we've had various levels of participation over the course of the year. Over the course of the years, and a couple of these schools, Auburn and All Saints, have been very active over the course of the last few years in getting their green school status and getting their chevrons to add to their flags or put near their flags in their schools. It's real easy for the school districts in Bay County to participate in this. I mean, one of them is having a recycling program, which I think 100% of the schools in Bay County actually have. Another one is light bulbs, changing, and most of the school districts have already done that. So a lot of this is just putting a check on a box that you've already done, and you get this wonderful flag that you hang up in the school and show the community that you're doing something to give back by being much more friendly to the environment and energy efficient. So I do want to congratulate all of you for your efforts and what you've done, and look forward to seeing you next year with your chevron. We can give you that one next year. So congratulations. And Alicia, and thank you for everything you do in making this happen.
Well, my job is really easy. I just write them emails and remind them, and if they'd like me to do presentations at the school about invasive species, Michigan endangered species, anything that's related to what I do here for the county, and it's really a pleasure to work with these schools. Auburn Area Catholic School, this is their 5th year qualifying. And it is John Glenn and All Saints and Career Center, it's their 4th year of qualifying. And they've all qualified for the Evergreen for the last 3 years. So they're doing a wonderful job, and it really, this is to recognize all the efforts that they do and that they're willing to just write down on a piece of paper. So I really appreciate your hard work, and I hope to continue working with you over the next forever. Yeah, that's a while.
Very good.
Thank you.
Lisa?
Alicia.
I will get these.
Very good. We'll move next to our next presentation, and Mr. Tilley, if we would handle number 3.
Officer Trooper Darrow will be here next month, so we can probably hold off on the reading of it
Correct.
until he's here next month. But make the motion to recognize 2015 State Trooper of the Year, Michael Darrow, and under Resolution 2016-78.
Support. Discussion? With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then the 30th anniversary of Bay County 911. Mr. Tilley, if you would move the...
Yeah, I'll make the motion in Resolution 2016-79. Not only is it designation as Public Safety Telecommunications Week, this is the 30th anniversary of Bay County 911, which is another cool attribute to add to this resolution. So I so move this resolution.
Support?
Discussion. If you'd come up. I don't have a... Yep, I will. With no further discussion, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. There you go, Mr. And a mic. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to present this to Chris and your staff. I think a lot of people don't realize the job that you do. You know, it seems it's 911, but it's a smooth operation you run there. I would think that we have one of the finest 911 complexes in the state of Michigan. I mean, you know, I like to I toot your horn a lot, you guys, because I know you work so hard and you're on the cutting edge of everything that's new and exciting. I know you're rolling out some new programs now, and it's all better for the people of Bay County. I mean, it's amazing the things you do there, and I think I know Commissioner Tilley and I and all the commissioners actually we're all very proud of the work you guys do. We always wish we could do. It's like Santa Claus. We wish we could do more for you, but but you work hard, and I want to present you with the certificate, and hopefully there's many more to come. You know, I assume that one of these times there's going to be something coming from the state the way you guys work. You guys, you're just terrific. I mean, I can't say enough good things about you. You guys work so hard.
Thank you very much, Tom, and thank you, Commissioners, for this honor. Today, I was thinking about what to say about 911 Central Dispatch, and part of our new interview process, we have potential employees give us a presentation of what they've learned of 911. They do sit-alongs with us, and one person brought in cookies, and they were chocolate. They were cookies with M&Ms in the cookies, and she set them out at each one of the positions, and she said, the red is the fire, the red M&Ms, the blue is the police, the yellow is utilities, green's EMS. But the rest, the dough that holds it all together is 911. And I thought, what a great analogy. I'm going to steal that analogy.
Good move.
But that's really what it is. We invest a lot in technology, but we also invest a lot in staff. And no matter what technology we put in front of them, it's the individuals that work behind that computer, oftentimes behind the scenes, that make that magic in the middle happen, from the left hand when the call comes in to the right hand when the call is dispatched. What happens in the middle is those individuals that work 24/7, 365, 7 days a week, weekends, holidays, Christmas, give up birthdays, time with their family to be at 911 and to provide that service to the community. It's more than just a job, it's a career, it's a lifestyle, and this is that week to honor those telecommunicators. So this means a lot to everyone at the center. And we really appreciate the compliments and this as well.
Very good.
Thank you.
We can certainly do that. I'm sorry. No. Thank you. Thanks, Tom. And
Earlier, we'll do it again. They deserve to.
I saw him on social media.
Dan, you could have mine.
all right. Next, under presentations and communications, we've got C. It's the Bay Drain Commissioner. It's our 2015 drain report. A motion to receive would be in order.
So moved.
Support.
Discussions. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move into reports and resolutions of committee. That brings us to Ways and Means with Commissioner Coonan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Do we have to go back to B and receive that, the GIS? I know we're going to get it at 5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock, we'll do that.
We can do it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds good. From the Ways and Means Committee, we have Resolution 2016-80. This is the 2016 Marine Safety Grant Program for the Sheriff's Department. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussions. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-81. This is amendment to the 2015-2016 VOCA grant through the Prosecutor's Office. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-82, Treatment Court Grant Application, Circuit District and Probate Courts. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Begic.
Yes, so next resolution I'd like to pull, it's going, the convention's going to be held in Saginaw, as it turns out, so we're going to ask the Saginaw County Commissioners for support. So I would like to remove this.
Oh, you're going to remove that?
Right.
Oh, I was going to have you read it.
No.
All right, so.
Yes, it's not being held in Bay County, so
We won't give them any press.
we'll ask Saginaw County for their money.
All right.
All right, so that one's going away, right?
Right.
All right, sorry, Paul, I thought you were going to. All right, Resolution 2016-84. This is the Cormorant Management on Spoils Island through Corporation Council. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-85, Soldiers Relief Commission contractual part-time typist clerk position through administrative services. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. I have a question. Has that been filled? Do we have a person
No,
yet?
sure it hasn't.
So people could still come in and
Yes.
apply for that?
Yes.
And how many hours a week?
A maximum of 25.
Okay.
Again, we will work with personnel on the application process. I imagine it'll be posted just like other jobs are.
Okay. Very good. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-86, the Boys and Girls Club Summer Program through the Recreation and Facilities. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-87, the golf course outing fees through Recreation and Facilities. I move this resolution.
Support. Discussion. Commissioner Coonan.
Just a quick question, Kristen. I'm getting calls from folks. I guess there's a wetland between 6 and 18. Are we getting the pumps out there going to pump that off?
Yes, Tim Watkins, our green superintendent, has been working very hard to dry us out as quickly as possible, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for a Friday opening.
Friday, that's what they're asking. Okay. All right, I just want to be able to get back with the folks.
Mr. Hickner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also had someone talk with me in that last week, I think it was last week, I sent something to Tim Watkins and Kristen, and they were going to follow up on it.
So hopefully Friday we're opening.
Yes, I haven't heard the official word, but we're gearing up for Friday.
Sounds good.
Very good. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-88, the 2016 Bay County Equalization through the Equalization Department. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. Commissioner Coonan.
I know this is probably going to be for the 2017 budget, but it looked like those dollars that we would bring in through personal property is going to be down significantly more than what we projected. So that's something we should probably keep our eye on and see how that's going to affect us. Maybe not necessarily this year. It might affect us somewhat this year, but if not this year, next year.
Okay. Any further discussion? Commissioner Durancheck.
Just kind of a comment to that. Wasn't there reimbursement supposed to be coming too from the state when they did that?
Mr. Redmond?
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. That's the answer. Okay. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-89, gas transportation. This is a seasonal contract with Constellation New Energy through Buildings and Grounds. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-90, appropriation for the completion of painting projects through Buildings and Grounds. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-91, contract with McMillan and Associates. This is some structural assessments at the market through Buildings and Grounds. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. Kristen, just a quick, do they know when they're going to start that project?
I'd have to refer to John on that question.
There he is.
He's hiding in the back row.
Mr. Morris, what's the timetable look like on that?
I'm still waiting on to hear back from McMillan as far as addressing the bases for the columns.
Is their work going to interfere with any of the activities that's held there on the weekends?
Well, it very well could be. We've got 13 bases that are in rougher shape than the rest of them. Those are the ones that we're going to tackle first.
Okay.
And they're not all in order. They're
Scattered?
scattered, so out of 46 of them.
Well, that's not bad for the age. Commissioner Lutz.
And this is only for the engineering of the fixes for them, it's not actually to do the work.
Correct.
I think we're
Right.
gonna try to do that as much in-house.
In-house,
as possible.
yes. This is just the engineering and design of the
Okay.
bases.
Very good. Thank you. No further discussion. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-92, this is a letter of intent for Region 7 Area Agency on Aging for the fiscal year 2016-17 funding. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-93, payables for General, Bayonet, and Center Ridge Arms. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-94, some budget adjustments. I move this resolution.
Support. Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-95, this is support for legislative correction to the law allowing dark store interpretation by the Michigan Tax Tribunal for tax assessments through Commissioners Tilley and Lutz. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2016-96, financial contract with Computer Systems Incorporated, CSI, for software with the Register of Deeds. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, that's the business from Ways and Means.
Thank you, Commissioner Coonan. We'll move into Personnel and Human Services. Commissioner Lutz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, I'd like to bring Resolution 2016-97. It's the vacancies for the Division on Aging, the Health Department, and the Finance Department. I move that resolution.
Support.
Discussion? With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, I'd like to bring Resolution 2016-98, which is the labor agreement negotiation services for Tim Quinn from the Personnel Department. I'll move that resolution.
Support.
Discussion? Commissioner Herrick.
I guess I'd like to know from someone, is this the way it's always been done in Bay County? Do we hire somebody to negotiate contracts?
Commissioner, I'm sorry, Mr. Hickner.
I can answer part of it, and then if Amber would like to comment it. When I was first elected in '93, the Board of Commissioners had retained out-of-town counsel Peter Cole, who would come in and negotiate the contracts, and that went on for a number of years, actually until Tim Quinn was hired, and at that point he was able to assume that responsibility. And that produced a significant savings in legal costs, number one, and number two, in the timeliness of the contracts being settled. With Tim leaving and Tiffany coming in, while she has participated in those contract negotiations the last time around, we thought it would be prudent to bring Tim back for just this one set of contract negotiations to work with Tiffany and putting the contracts together. I will be happy to share with you the differences in costs that we've had over the years. And even under this is going to be significantly less than what we paid in the 90s with outside counsel. Peter Cole, as Commissioner Lutz will recall, used to have to drive in from Lansing. And my experience with the bargaining units is that they developed a very good communication process with Tim. That was not the case prior to Tim's arrival several years back. And Amber, if you want to, or actually Tiffany, if you wanted to say anything. If I covered it all, you don't have to say anything.
I mean, I think you covered it, that historically before Tim Quinn was hired here at Bay County, it was outsourced to outside counsel, and upon his hire, like Tom said, we were able to bring it in-house because of his experiences and his background in law and negotiations. We were able to bring it in-house specifically because it was him that was hired with those backgrounds.
So he negotiates, so the contractual part, I mean, you know, when it's settled, then Amber, then you take over and make sure everything is properly done, or is he, you know, I guess I'm having trouble. It's a lot of money to me, you know. It's, you know, you're talking not only the difference in salary, but you're adding on to, you know, you're adding on another substantial sum on top of, you know, what Mr. Quinn made before. I mean, that was part of the, you know, part of what the written verbiage that you had on there, on the in the minutes there, about how much he was going to get. Plus, you know, you'd be asking for another $10,000 or $15,000 on top of that. So, you know, I guess so we're paying him to be just a negotiator and a lawyer, or what are we supposed to be paying him for exactly?
I think a little bit of both. He is acting as a consultant in the matter. He is obviously licensed to practice law. He does have experience in labor, not only from when he was an attorney, but before that with General Motors. We obviously, as Corporation Counsel, will be involved in the process, but this is the first time that we've gone through the negotiating process with all of the unions. It's been 3 years. It will be at the end of this particular contract term. So we haven't been involved in that before. I think that what Tim's bringing at this point in time, and the reason he would be coming in once, is because he has some historical knowledge of the prior negotiations with all of the different bargaining units that we lack at this point. So it will be a good starting point for us to get involved in the negotiating process, and the next time we go through the negotiations, it won't be necessary to bring that consultant in.
And you're talking about you and Shauna?
Correct. Correct. Along, obviously, with Tiffany, because Tiffany is going to be in charge of the negotiations.
So this is like supposed to be a one-time thing. Okay. And And if it doesn't, if the contracts aren't done, so we're saying this is till the end of the year, correct? And if it's not done yet, then what?
If I could, Mr. Chair, I will cross that bridge if we come to it at a later point. I'm hopeful that we will be able to put together a good offer to the bargaining units from the employer side. And assuming that we can, I don't see any reason why we can't complete the negotiations before the contracts expire. That was not always the case in years past. And Peter Cole represented not only Bay County, but counties across the state. And he was a labor attorney, and that's why the board back in, Bob, I'd say sometime in the 80s. No, late 80s, when Cole was first brought in.
I'd like to feel that if you're going to put out this much money, that would be enough to get the job done. You know, rather than leave it half done or 3/4 done. You know, I mean, is that a reasonable assumption?
I think it's a reasonable expectation, and I think that given Tim's success in the past with the negotiations, and assuming that we are able to put together a package that is not only representative of what we have to do financially for the county, but also for the employees. You know, my goal is to make sure that we are able to do something more for the employees in terms of compensation.
I get that. I guess I'm just kind of stuck on the part about if it didn't get done, then what happens? If it's 3/4 of the way done, can Tiffany finish it, or is Tim come in to finish it for next year? And that's you know, like you said, it's a reasonable expectation to say that it would be done, but if it's not done, then what happens? Instead of saying we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
If I could, Mr. Chair,
Sure.
I do not know what is going to happen on the other side, but I know it will be our commitment to conduct negotiations in a timely manner, I should say, and I think that we can get to where we want to be. And we are talking, compensation is the largest area of spending in the county, and in the context of not only what we've spent historically for outside representation, as well as what we've saved during the years that Tim was here, we are still going to be allocating less money than we did in prior years before Tim was on staff. And we've got a memo that we put together. We'll make sure that the board.
So you can say that well, you know, this is the amount of money we have to work with. Here you go.
Well, I think that's a reasonable suggestion, recommendation, that's what we, having not thought about it more than a couple minutes, I think that I can't see why we couldn't accomplish it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, if we can do that.
That would be the game plan.
Pardon me?
That would be the game plan, to
Yeah.
have this all wrapped up by the end of December.
Mm-hmm. Or
Okay.
just that we don't put any more money into it.
Correct. Commissioner Coonan.
Well, with the discussion going on, I think it's a pretty good investment to bring Tim in for one time to help out. And you know, if you haven't been involved in it, I think having that benefit of being with somebody like him is to everyone's benefit. But secondly, I've negotiated in the public sector, and there are no secrets. Everybody has access to everything. And so the unions know how much money we have, and ultimately it's Tom his staff puts things together, but it's us that gives direction. So we're the ones that give direction as to how much money is out there to be distributed with wage increases. We've always looked at health care, and we've done a lot of good things with health care, reducing the amount of costs that the employees take out of their pockets. So we need somebody on a day, because we don't do the day-to-day. We don't sit there and negotiate. And I think having Tim there with these folks would benefit not only this time but down the road, but ultimately it's right here that gives the direction. So, you know, hopefully we can get it done in a reasonable amount of time, but And I think we've always been fair. As long as I've been on this board, we've been very fair with people.
Correct.
If you don't have, you got to live within your budget, whatever that budget may be. And we know that we have done a very good job. Even prior to, I've been here 14 years, prior to myself being here, they've done, the county commissioner and the administration's done a good job. And I think we continue to do good jobs because out of the 83 counties, we're probably, if not at the top, very near the top in counties that are fiscally in good financial shape. So I think we have to look, that's part of our biggest role as county commissioners is adopting the budget, setting policy, and that's part of policy. What we give those folks to go negotiate with. So it's not just administration, it's the board's responsibility as well.
Very good. Commissioner Tilley?
Yeah, I'm confident in the process and the staff that has administered this over the course of my 10 years on the county commission, and since Tim has been here, that I'm confident that we'll get something done sooner rather than later, and I'm very proud that we've always worked with our employees, even through the times of strife, they've worked with us. And so we've done some things, like the 15% that the state mandated they pay 20%. We opted that they only have to pay 15%.
Correct.
And we have some great employees here and who are worth the investment as we go forward in negotiations. Thanks.
Very good. Any other discussion? With that being said, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Next, I'd like to bring Resolution 2016-99, to revise smoke-free policy for the Southern Ridge Army. I move that resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And that's all I have from Personnel and Human Services.
Thanks, Commissioner Lutz. We'll move into Board of Commissioners, and that would bring up Mr. Tilley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Resolution 2016-100, the reports of the county executive. I so move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have Resolution 2016-101, a lawmaker's exemption from laws enacted for governors of state of Michigan. I so move this, sponsored by Commissioner Lutz. I so move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. Commissioner Tilley.
I like it. That's all I got to say. If you want to hold somebody accountable, then you've been accountable yourself, so.
Any other, Commissioner Begic.
I'm all in favor of transparency. I think it should be at the national level also. I know we don't have much control. We don't have much control over the state legislature except for voicing our opinion and sending a resolution, but I think we should all be transparent with the public.
Agreed.
Public servants.
Agreed.
Thank you.
No other discussion. All those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes business from the boards of commissioners, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Tilley. We'll move into reports of county officials, and that would be Mr. Hickner.
Well, I only have one item to bring up, I guess, at this point, and that's a new initiative that 911 is just about to complete, and we've already been in touch with the city that every time a bridge is going to be opening through Bay Alerts, people will get notified. It's something that people have suggested many times to me that we ought to figure out a way to know when we're going to get backed up, and 911 staff have actually figured out a way to do that. The second thing I guess I'd say is that we do have a closed session, but I would recommend that we do that after the GIS presentation. I don't know if that was your plan, but...
Yes. Yes, it is. Anything else?
No.
Very good. Any unfinished business? Any new business? Under miscellaneous, Commissioner Herrick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to let everybody know that the Saginaw Basin Land Conservancy on Saturday, April 23rd from 9 a.m. to noon will be doing an Earth Day work day at the Discovery Preserve over on Euclid. That's down by Kites and across from I think the car dealership right over there, next to the Region 7 Division on Aging there. So if you come out there, the SBLC will supply tools and they will have work gloves and refreshments will be on hand for everybody, the volunteers can feel free to bring their own work gloves or loppers and hedge trimmers if they would like. But it's a, you know, I usually take my grandkids there, and it's a nice day. Hopefully it'll be a nice day. We haven't had very many lately. So that's on April 23rd from 9 a.m. to noon at the Discovery Preserve over on Euclid. And one other thing I have is the Community Foundation, which I'm lucky enough to be on one of their committees there. And so with Mr. Hickner and Laura Olgar, and they published a new Facebook page called Gateway Bay City, and it talks a little bit about, you know, things they're trying to do, you know, some of the initiatives that have been brought forth. And so I want people to know that, you know, that like they just don't sit on their hands over there. You know, I mean, people say, well, you know, where's the jobs? Where's this? There's people working on it constantly. And this committee, this steering committee, I mean, it's composed of people from, you know, Bay Future and the Chamber of Commerce and people from banking, United Way, you know, like I said, county people. So there are people from all walks of life on these committees. But the Gateway Bay City is a Facebook page, and you can check it out. And there's always something posted on there for anyone interested. So I encourage you to do that. And I'm sure that Eileen will be happy I said that.
Very good.
All done.
I have one as far as miscellaneous, and that's to welcome Amber back. Good to have you. We missed you.
Thank you very much.
And next, I would like to bring Laura Olgar up. And what we'll do is we'll go back to our presentation on the geographic information on systems on the GIS.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Try to get it by 5. We're close.
Yes. And I just wanted to kind of speak a little louder. It was hard to hear back there, but thank you very much. This is a joint meeting with the city commissioners as well as the county commissioners, and so it's a real honor to have so many important people here today. We are going to be highlighting a presentation of what's called a GIS web viewer. There's a commercial right now on television that's airing. I don't know what they're selling, but what they say during the course of this commercial is, what good is collecting data if you're not going to use it? And I'm going to tell you, what we've done here with this GIS web viewer is take many, many layers of data that we collect in the normal course of our business. The city utilities, water and sewer folks are here. They've been helpful. Our county utilities, Department of Water and Sewer, the Road Commission. We've gathered a variety of data, and we've been able to display it on our GIS web viewer. We were able, the city and the county executive Tom Hickner and the city manager Rick Finn kind of launched this working group to kind of get this thing online. It's been over a year in the making, and so there's been a lot of work, a lot of partners, a lot of these folks who are here tonight have participated in this. And I kind of want to just go over the users first. Roughly, don't wait for me if you want to get this going. Okay. Okay. Oh, I see. You're okay. Just real quickly, as far as users, this is not just a Google Earth type of viewing. This is actually an interactive viewing platform where you can take parcel information and you can do measuring. You can do measurements. Say you want to put in a new garage or a driveway. You can actually look at your parcel and kind of plan that out. Draw it on your parcel, print that out for whether for scale to see if that's going to work for your needs. Also for building permits. I know site selection consultants, Mark Litton is here today with Bay Future. He can attest. Many of the site selection consultants do their research online. They do it late at night or, you know, in the middle of the morning when they're at their home. They want to do a lot of this research in the privacy of their own comfort zone, so that they're not talking about this publicly. But so as much information we can have online displayed. Is this parcel, is it close to the railroad? Where's the wetlands mapping? Where's the FEMA zones? all of that, some of that had been available in a variety of places. That kind of coalesces this effort on one viewing platform. And I just wanted to recognize Tom Hickner and Dana Muscat, I know is here, the Deputy City Manager, if they wanted to say a few words just to emphasize this cooperative working product that we've got. Thank you.
Dana. Afternoon. Welcome to Bay County.
Thank you for having us, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to say something very short. Over a year ago, the Bay City Commission adopted goals, and one of those goals that we adopted were developing partnerships and networking, which would lead to better communications. And more specific, we wanted to develop closer, ongoing working relations with Bay County, with all of you. And that's why you see all of us, our City Commission and our staff present today. While we have many working relationships with you, the one that we are focusing on today is the GIS web viewer. And over the past year, representatives from the county and the city have met as a work group to talk about sharing services. And coming out of that work group was a technically advanced online viewing system for the entire community, information that can be used for an array of services, just like Laura had mentioned. This collaborative project is an example of the city and the county working together more efficiently and effectively. And it was a way for us to use the data, existing data that we already had, but we weren't using. We weren't merging the county and the city data together. So I think you're going to be very pleased with what staff has come forward with. So on behalf of the city staff and all of our city commission, we would like to thank the entire work group for sharing their knowledge and their experience to benefit our entire county. And Manager Finn expresses he couldn't come today. He is out of town, and Mayor Newsham also had a conflicting engagement. So thank you very much for having us.
You're welcome. And maybe if we could, because we are on Bay 3 TV, have the city commissioners stand for acknowledgement. Would you please? Commissioners, thank you for taking time. Commissioner Hickner, did you want to say a
I think we ought to hear from the staff because it is an exciting product that they've
Very good.
put out. One other thing, welcome to the city commissioners and the city staff. I'm not sure how many of you have been here before, but you're always welcome to come. I know that would be the position of the...
Always open.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, let's go for it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like to say thank you to all of you, the city commissioners and city staff, Mr. Hickner, Mr. Finn, Dana, Laura Hobart. Really appreciate the support. This has been a great project to work on. And really excited to show this to you guys, and hope you like it. And just keep in mind, this is just the beginning. It's a base for when we go forward. So we're only going to be making this site better and adding more data and tools to it. So with that, we'll show the site that you can see here on the screen. When you navigate to the website, you get this welcome screen. Just explains a little bit about the site and provides any updates that might have happened since the last time you visited, whether it's new data, new tools. And that's here at the bottom. So you can see today, Bay Area GIS Fetch Viewer has been launched. Simply hit the accept button. You'll get the countywide extent of Bay. So what you see right here is your 2015 aerial photography, street center lines, municipal boundaries. I'll start off with just going over some of the basic tools, and then we'll get into a couple quick examples of how the site functions. So over here on the left, you have your zoom in and zoom out. Pretty similar to Google Earth, you have the magnifying glass to zoom in, so you can draw your zoom into your area of interest, or zoom out, zoom to full extent of the county, zoom to any your past extents and your past views that you've been looking at. And if you've been going back and forth, this way you can toggle back forward to your previous extents, and then of course your hand here to pan around the map. Also up here in the upper left-hand corner, you see the logos for both the Bay County and the City of Bay City. Click on either one of those will take you to either the Bay County website or the City of Bay City website. Going over here to the right, this first button, This takes you to any other community that uses this fetch viewer from Amalgam, such as Midland County, Tuscola County, Gladwin County. They all use this. This wrench, so this brings up our mapping tools. So you have the ability to draw, as Laura was mentioned. You know, if you want to draw a shed, a garden, a fence, you can add text. You have the ability to change colors on it, adjust it, rotate it. Same thing with the text. You can change text size, color, font. You have the ability to measure features on the map. So you can measure lengths, areas. You can change the units. So if you want square footage, acres, even location. So if you want to pull property corners, you can pull the coordinates of a feature. We have buffer tools, which we'll demonstrate here just in a second. So you can buffer either a tax parcel, or if you draw one of those lines or polygons, you can create a buffer off of that. And then what I think is the coolest tool of them all, that we'll demonstrate too here in a second, is this swipe tool under miscellaneous tools. So what this will allow you to do is to compare two different sets of imagery. So compare 2015s to 2010s, 2010s to 2005s. For search, this is what a lot of people will come here for. This wasn't available through the tax parcel viewer that's currently out there. You had to go through the BS&A side. So here you can search properties by parcel IDs, property address, owner name. You can search intersections, addresses, and again, if you're a surveyor, you can search for coordinates. So here's all the layers that are currently out there. Now this is, as again, by no means, this is not the final list. We will be adding data as we go. We've carefully selected these layers from our GS group meetings, but this is again, by no means the end all be all. Just some of the highlighted layers that we do have. We have those 3 different years of imagery, tax parcels, lakes and streams, FEMA flood zones, wetlands, parks, points of interest. Under points of interest, you have docks. So where do I get access to the bay or to the Saginaw River, Cucaulin River? Courthouses, libraries, park information, school district and school facility locations. We have, since this is an election year, we have voting. So we have not just your voting precinct, but the polling place in those precincts, county commissioner districts, city commissioner wards, municipal boundaries, and then township sections. You'll see utilities on here. This is, we just loaded this up temporarily as a sample of what we'd like to do eventually in the future, provided city-based city utilities, water and sewer, Bay County Water and Sewer Department are agreeable to putting this out here. But just to give you an idea of what is possible. This little button right here, if you're out in the field on your tablet, your smartphone, you can pull up and see where you are with relative close proximity on the map. You can create your own map hitting this print button. So it'll just, whatever you're looking at, it'll show. You can edit title, page size, send it to PDF and save it, or you can print it right from here. And then also we have a good help section. So you can get a little bit better understanding on the functions of the tools. Contact Laura or I if you have questions on the website. With that, I'll turn it over to Laura from the city to give a couple examples.
For our first example, we just picked a random parcel. It's just to use as an example. I know that the street address is 100 Cass Avenue. So if you search, you come up with all the addresses that could be 100 Cass Avenue. So you can see, 1008 Cass Avenue came up. But down here is 100 Cass Avenue. To zoom to that parcel, you select the blue pin. It'll zoom right into that. And you can either leave the parcels out here, or you can hide them. And okay, so you can once you're zoomed into the parcel, you have it selected, you can look at the details on the property of who owns it, what the school district is, what the zoning is, kind of like you could see on the last GS Web Viewer, but a little bit more user-friendly.
So it gives ownership?
It does. It's pulling off the BSNA database. And when you're zoomed in here, you can turn on other layers that you may be interested in. So say we're looking at this parcel and we want to know if it is in the floodway or floodplain. So you can turn on the floodplain. You can see that it's just outside of it. You can see who the city commissioner is for this parcel. You can see it's in the 6th ward. And this is just an example that we threw on some utilities in the area just to see what it would look like. And so in this example, if we did have utilities on here, we could zoom in and see where there's a water and sewer lines in the area. So that's just an example for like economic development or site selection, ways that you could potentially use the site. The next example is to look at the imagery swipe. Go up to Uptown. So here's the 2015 imagery, and maybe we want to look back to see what it looked like in 2005. We can enable the swipe and put 2005 on the left side and 2015 on the right side. And just hold and drag the area that you want to see the differences in. So it's kind of a very cool tool to have.
What trees up this year?
One of the other things to be able to use this website for is just to highlight some of the qualities of our community, and I think one of those are we have a lot of great parks and non-motorized paths.
Will it bring up the rail trail?
Yes, that's what.
Now,
Just
is
about.
this accessible to the public, or is there a pay or a fee, or how's it?
This is accessible to the public. We hope to have that up tomorrow.
Is it an app, or is it just a website? Or?
It's a website. We'll have a link to it on our county GIS webpage, and the city will have a link on their webpage as well. Since you mentioned it as an app, you can go to it on your smartphone, and you can save it as like a shortcut icon on there. So just since Vets Park here is right nearby, so see the parks and say, yeah, I want to navigate around, on the rail trail. Maybe I want to see exactly where these routes go if you're not familiar with it, if you're new to the area. And keep in mind, these non-motorized trails, these aren't just our bike and pedestrian trails. We also have our brand new Blue Ways Trail out here as well. So for those that might be interested in kayaking the Saginaw River, the Bay, Cucaholen River, put those in with our points of interest to show where the boat launches are so they can access the Blue Ways Trail. Okay.
Do people need surveyors if you have that? I mean, if you can look at your property, the exact, if somebody says, hey, I just bought a house, I need to get the property surveyed, do you need surveyors?
Yes. This is just a digital representation of your property. This is not, the line work is a best fit, but it is not, it won't substitute a survey.
It's not accurate.
So,
it is accurate.
It would, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The best available data that's available at a particular time is local.
Okay.
We'll keep updating it, but it shouldn't be relied on.
So if there's an issue between two neighbors on who owns what parcel of land, this isn't something they can hang their hat on. They still would have to go through the proper, just so that people know that
Yes.
this isn't chipped in granite.
Yes. And so, again, the green lines here are the pedestrian trails, pedestrian bike trails. So if you hover over them, you can see what that trail is, and you can zoom out, see where they might lead to, around the county or within the city of Bay City.
We could actually check the ditch out on Loria Road.
I'm actually gonna use this when it comes up tomorrow, I'm gonna use this for that whole area.
If you got the address, he can do it right now.
So, a couple more real quick things. Let's go to another property and show you again. Here's the property search. I'll show you how Laura brought up the BSNA tax assessing information that comes here on the side when you click either the name and property owner and address here, or the show details. But then you can also generate a report for your own personal files, or if you need to print it, take it to a meeting. You get this nice printable report here. It has a map, has your tax information, and then you have the option, maybe you don't want the map, you can toggle that off. Maybe you just need this year's tax information, get rid of the tax history. And again, you can just save that as a PDF or just print it right from this screen.
Hey, Jay?
Yeah.
This is an example of what they have been able to do. This is the county market property. And we're talking about doing some things over the county market. But they do all sorts of cool stuff with the equipment. And the resolution, as Amber just said, with the new photography is much better than what the old was. And Bob and I share stuff all the time like on this.
It's sure.
This still doesn't, it's like the old system, doesn't show ownership of property, it just shows who's paying taxes, correct?
No, it shows ownership.
Yeah, BSNA actually tells you. So if you have a deed that has 5 different owners on there, that's going to come up as 5 different owners, even though only one person receives the tax bill?
That's a good question for equalization, I guess. I know as far as in our GIS layer, we have multiple fields to accommodate as many owners as possible, like in those situations, but I think a lot of times if there are that many, they get cut off.
Because there are a lot of deeds that we have in the office that have upwards, you got 10 owners on it. But most of the time, tax bill is set to one person. And our existing GIS just has it, whoever
Pays taxes. Okay.
So I was curious how it would work.
With law enforcement, will they be able to have better access of a layout if they're, searching for a parcel of land that maybe somebody's supposed to be on, to see just how they can have access to it?
If they have access to the internet in their cars, they should have it, I believe. So.
Okay.
Last example that I wanted to give, this is another neat tool. I know the Road Commission's really excited about this part of it. So, say we're doing a road project, you're near the Road Commission or the city, and you want to send out notices to the property owners that, hey, we're going to be doing some work on your road, and you want to be able to send mailing to those folks. You simply go to those drawing tools and draw a line down the extent of that road construction project. And then go back and buffer that line. So take it off take it off parcel and select graphic. So I've selected that line, and I have there's a generic or a default 300 feet. So if I just drop it down to 100 for this example, and then click run. Now I've created a buffer 100 feet that's selected all of the parcels that are within that 100-foot buffer. And you can see there's a list of addresses and property owners here, but if I go to print labels, I have it all set up to print out, or I can, again, save the PDF and do that.
Yeah, I thought of that, but I wasn't going to say it.
So.
I don't want to use that for campaigns.
that was what we wanted to show you. You know, again, keep in mind, we'll be adding data to this. We're looking to add more functionality to this as we go, but we hope people like what they're seeing, at least with this base product, and hope to grow from there and continue this relationship GIS-wise with the city and the road commission and county water and sewers. Been a great project to be a part of.
Let's, if we've got, and we do have the time, questions either from city commissioners that are now being exposed to this? Yes, sir.
You got me?
Dave. Yep, you're up, Jim.
Yes, one question I have. I understood there was supposed to be some way of putting in personal medical history into this for residents. Should be to assist 911 calls.
That's not through this application. That's through Smart 911.
Oh, okay, that's separate.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And this does have the capability to, you know, we'll be able to load up that data that we want to have, data, the utilities or whoever, the users, road commission. But some of that stuff is like they have some privacy issues or they have security concerns like water intake locations or water lines. And that will not be loaded then. We've looked at possibly at the recent, one of the recent meetings with the water and sewer folks were talking, we might be able to do water districts, but not necessarily, you know, so that you can, you're going to be buying a house and say you want a house, but you don't want to have your own well, you want city water, you want to be able to check on that. They should have like a water district. You'll be able to tell whether you're in a water district area or if you need your own water well. So that will also be loaded. A lot of this we want to get it available. As Tim mentioned, it is going to be available very soon tomorrow for the public. And we will have training. If you have a group of users that you want to have, you know, because it takes time. You know, Jay kind of went through this very quickly. But there's a lot of tools, a lot of features to that. If you want to have a training session, we'd be happy to follow up with that for your use.
So Laura, question I have for you, you know, our big emphasis, of course, is water quality. So will we be able to access and find where septic fields are or people who are hooked up to sewers or not hooked up to sewers?
I was looking for Joel Scott, our health director. He's not here, he was here earlier, but you know, we can certainly, that's an interesting question, Commissioner, because like we had a recent situation along the Coquitlam River where we can show that there is sanitary sewer available. But that particular house was on a septic system. And so while you can assume outside of the sanitary district, if there's a house, you can assume it's on a septic, but you know what? That's not always a good assumption. It's surprising what creative people can do. But we can show certainly where the sanitary, you know, the municipal sanitary system is. And some of those folks may or may not be connected, and we can certainly then those areas outside of that, you have to make that broad assumption that they're on site.
Okay, Mr. Hickner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Health Department does plan on putting all of that data on septic systems into this. They've got a lot of records that they are going to be digitizing, just like what the city is doing with all of their water lines. And so it is something going on. In response to Commissioner Irving's question, at 911, they actually can pull up this information right in front of them. And so when they're dealing with a call, they are able to tell the first responder, the fire, or the law enforcement agency what the lay of the land is. They can't do it like they do it on TV, you know, where somebody's actually walking around live, but it's pretty good. As Tom has seen that system over at 911.
Okay, Commissioner Herrick had a question?
I had more of a comment. I just think that, you know, it's amazing, you know, we always talk about, all of us have about collaboration between city and county. This is a perfect example, I think, you know. I mean, I can't wait to go home and actually play with this whole system you guys made here, because I think it's really cool. I won't do it today.
Get rested up.
I mean, it's just so unique, you know. I mean, you know, I
I just think that there's so many things that are going on in Bay County and Bay City that other places just don't do. I mean, I think we're ahead of the curve, you know, there's quite a bit on a lot of things. And this is just another example, just that, you know, everybody's getting along, and that's the way it works, you know.
Yeah.
It's what's gonna make it work forever.
Commissioner Tilly.
I think, Tom, because Joel's not here, is that with the townships, is that information available as well, like with the sewer lines and who's hooked up the sewer lines and who's not hooked up the sewer lines? With that, because I know in Bay Future, when we were looking at some site selection things, that talking to the township supervisor, they didn't keep accurate records over the years. And so there are some that are on sewer systems, some that still have septic fields, and they don't know until there's a problem, and then they go and have to dig it up, and then they know exactly what that person's been doing. Or when they do a road project, then they find out at that point in time. But I don't know if any of that data is going to be dumped into this system from the townships as well, or is that just later on down the line?
If I could, Mr. Chair, that is one of the objectives that we have over the next couple of years, is to be able to do that. And more than likely, the approach that would be used would be to take all of the billing addresses or the sites when you get a bill at your house, and then put it into some kind of an Excel and then transfer it into this system. That's probably the way they'll do it.
Very
But
good.
Jay actually knows how they could do it.
Commissioner Dranchek.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question for Laura. As Bay County's part of the SIGMA group, the five Phragmites, will we be able to map where we've treated and stuff? Is that part, can that be put on there? So we know where we're going and where we've been along the shoreline?
We, certainly the information, the treatment areas we've already treated, absolutely. We have that information that's going to be ready for loading up. You know, as far as where we go in the future, or if we do further treatments, we can certainly include that information. And in fact, part of that is what we've built into what we've already had was why we were able to get some of the more recent, these larger $500,000 grants that are now, well, it's a $350,000 grant, a $500,000 project. Because of the consistency around the bay, we were able to show what was happening around the bay. So yes, that would be included. And talking about going back to the township information that Commissioner Tilly mentioned, we do have a lot of township data. And again, we have like their zoning plans and their mapping. Now, some of that is out of date, right? They might make a zoning change from year to year, and we won't necessarily have those updated sites. Because again, it's not to be relied upon, it's for a general kind of an overview. But there are those sites in particular for like septics where they may be on a septic and sanitary may be in the front of the house, and they were not necessarily required to connect. And so those interface areas where there is sanitary, those boundaries, it's always questionable. But for the most part, out and beyond in the townships, there's a lot of data that we are getting, you know, that they cooperate. They also have done some Phragmites treatment up in Conning as well, so we're getting that information.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, you know, it's a good thing too as we start looking at, you know, the overflows. We now know that with all the basins that the city of Bay City has put in and stuff, that stuff's not getting in the river from there. All right, it's time for a sewer code, you know, a septic tank code. So, I mean, we need to take a look at this because this is how this stuff is getting into the water. So, thank you.
Anyone else? I guess the only question that I have is, as long as they can't track where the beach groomer's been on the shoreline, I'll be happy.
When you build a garage, you know, and it hasn't shown up on your tax assessment, yeah, it makes you wonder. You know, again, it's technology. It has certainly a convenience, and it opens up broad horizons, and it also there is that question of personal privacy.
That's right. So welcome to the year 2016.
Just make sure your tractor doesn't have GPS.
That's right, yes.
Good job.
All right, anything else out of you? You're all set? Then at this point, city commissioners, I appreciate you taking the time to see what's new and what's coming up. And what we will do is we'll come back into our normal order of business. And, yes, a motion to receive this.
Support.
Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll give them a moment to clear out.
Can we take a moment or recess?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take 5 minutes if we could. Time to rock and roll. That's right.
If we can have control here, please.
Well, he did, but we have to make a motion, and then we can have the sergeant of arms lock him on.
We gotta have a motion first.
We have a motion to go back in.
No, we didn't.
Order of business.
We didn't leave.
Oh, Diane's, I think you did that.
We lost the clerk.
Okay, so at this point, anything else in miscellaneous? Nothing in miscellaneous. I believe that there is a need for a closed session. Amber?
There is, Mr. Chair, requesting closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268, Section E, to consult with attorney regarding pending litigation.
Motion to go to closed session.
Discussion. With none, we need a roll call vote.
And before you do the roll call vote, just for the clerk's purposes for identification, this deals with the Matthew Gillis and Frederick Walraven versus Bay County Sheriff matters.
So we'll probably have to wait a second till our clerk's back so she can put in record why we're going into closed session.
That will work.
I don't think she's aware we had a closed session. Is she coming back?
Does she know we're back? Okay. I guess I could call as well. Okay.
She's coming, you saw her.
I saw her.
You saw her?
I saw her. I recognized her. I saw, no, not even. Told you.
Not yet.
Okay, Amber, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Requesting closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268, Section E, to discuss trial or settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation. For purposes of identification for this closed session, we will be discussing Frederick Walraven and Matthew Gillis versus the Bay County Sheriff.
Very good. Motion would be in order.
So, support.
Discussion? With none, if you take roll, please.
Commissioner Begic.
Yes.
Begic, sorry. Burnett.
Yes.
Herrick.
Yes.
Tilly.
Yes.
Lutz.
Yes.
Durancheck.
Yes.
Krieger.
Yes. Sergeant at Arms,
Sir.
if you'd secure the doors. Very good. Mr. Tilly.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion from corporate counsel.
That we follow the recommendation of corporate counsel as set forth in the
I thought
closed
maybe it was
session.
something else added to it. Yes.
Support. Discussion. With none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. A adjournment would be in order.
Yes, it is.
Announcements.
Support.
Whoop,
Did you skip the announcements?
we're good.
Were there announcements?
We're good till May. I'm sorry, was there a motion?
Motion to adjourn is always in order, yes, sir.
Chair, excuse me, who supported the motion to close the television?
Tilly made the motion, Mike Lutz. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Herrick.
Mr. Herrick. Yep. All right. We are adjourned.
Who's the other small boy?
Yes.